This is Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 1. And the word of Yahawah came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith Yahawah our power, Behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them shield and helmet. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Racha Kodash, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi. Double honors to our apostles at Great Millstone who will wear the titles of truth. Peace and love and blessings and salutations to you, Akim, part of the bahasham, the house of David. To you few sincere sisters out there that watch, shalom to you also. All right, so just news updates. I'm pretty sure Akim been seeing it. You know, you few sincere sisters, I know you've been seeing it also. You know, brothers around, you know, the watchmen. And the reason I bring it out, it's late. Ezekiel 38. Mainly for the point of Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, all of them shield and helmet, because, you know, we know Gog represents Russia. Okay, and you know, when you look at what's going on right now as far as war, okay, Iran has declared full-scale war with the U.S. So I'm gonna play this YouTube video and then, you know, go from there. But fair use.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio ahead of a meeting with President Trump later this afternoon. The meeting comes as Iran's president says it's in a full-scale war with the U.S., Israel, and Europe. Foreign correspondent Maggie Rulli and former National Security Council Senior Director for Counterterrorism Javid Ali are here with more this afternoon. Maggie, I just want to start with you. These are provocative comments from Iran's president. What do you have for us on the latest on this?
Yeah, Faith, we're used to provocative comments from Iran, but this latest comment also seemed timed to provoke maximum reaction ahead of that meeting between Netanyahu and Trump. Now, Iran's president is saying not only that his country is at a full-scale war with the U.S., Israel, and Europe, but also claiming that the military is stronger than it was when the U.S. and Israel targeted Iran's nuclear sites over the summer. Now, you may remember back in June.
And that's the Lord. Okay. Let me see. Slovakia. Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say I am strong. So that's a bold statement, which is the truth, because it's the Lord that basically has had their military amp up and be stronger than it was before.
June, President Trump ordered an attack on 3 of Iran's nuclear facilities using bunker buster bombs. He initially claimed their nuclear capabilities had been totally destroyed, but the government now says some of that enriched uranium wasn't eliminated, and it's unclear how far their program was actually set back. Faith.
And Javid, what do you make of the Iranian president's comments, and how concerned are you that this could actually lead to more attacks?
Faith, nice to be with you. And reiterating the previous points from Maggie, it's provocative, it's bold, it's belligerent. But we've heard not only the former Iranian presidents and this Iranian president say similar things, but also the Supreme Leader. And the fact that this statement was posted on the Supreme Leader's website, that is also pretty interesting. But beyond the rhetoric, I don't think it actually is backed up by the threat as described by the Iranian president. Iran is still in a pretty weak position in the aftermath of Israel's campaign against it from the summer, and then the U.S. strikes against the 3 nuclear facilities. Not saying they have no threat, but I don't think that Iran is in a position to fight both Israel and or the United States.
And that's why, as I read in Ezekiel the 38th chapter, bring along with you the Russian, the Ethiopian, okay, because I read, check this out, I looked it up. Does Russia have an alliance with Iran? Yes, Russia and Iran are strategic allies formalized by a 20-year comprehensive strategic partnership treaty signed in January 2025, deepening military drones for Russia potential Iranian nuclear help. So there's something Iran's clearly not telling us or telling them, because Russia has nuclear capability also. And when you're allies with somebody, you do business, and you share with each other. So oh man, hey, the wars and rumors of wars, ain't gonna be rumors soon.
In the way it's being described by the Iranian president.
And we mentioned earlier that President Trump is set to meet with Netanyahu later on this afternoon. How do you expect this to factor into that meeting today?
So I'm sure that both Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump will assess the rhetoric if they haven't already. But I don't think it's going to move the positions based on the bilateral discussions going forward. Now, one thing that might be a point of discussion in these meetings is any potential future Israeli military action or even joint U.S.-Israeli military action against Iran if there are signs that it is reviving its ballistic missile and cruise missile and drone programs that it used against Israel, or, as Maggie also mentioned, is it taking steps to reactivate parts of its clandestine nuclear weapons program? Those might be red lines for either Israel and the United States, but I don't think the rhetoric alone is going to cause a shift in policy right now.
And Maggie, as we've mentioned here, there's a lot on the table for President Trump and Netanyahu to talk about this afternoon, especially the possibility of talking about the next phase of the ceasefire in the Gaza war. What are you watching for as they go into this meeting?
The least of the flock shall draw them in. And even though they said U.S., Israel, and Europe, the UN is going to turn. That's Obadiah, the first chapter. Those that were confederate with thee, okay, they're going to turn against this place. So, hey, we about to see a lot of, hey, the Lord is doing this thing, and Yahawashi is close. His return.
Yeah, well, we'll be watching closely if there's any real talk between the two leaders that can actually push this peace plan forward and into phase 2. Now, remember, a little over a week ago, Special Envoy to the Middle East Steve Witkoff confirmed that the U.S. had met with officials from Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey in Miami to discuss the Gaza peace plan, where they say they reviewed phase 1 and began preparing for phase 2, saying they expect it to take place in the coming weeks, and it's expected to be announced in the new year. But, Faith, right now, time is so incredibly important. I can't stress that enough. It's winter winter now in Gaza. We've seen a horrific video of tents being flooded by heavy rain and rising sea waters. So as we're waiting on these talks, waiting on phase 2, this is real life on the ground for thousands of people, Faith.
At Nissan of San Bernardino, we make driving the perfect call.
This is big, man. Let's see.
President Donald Trump on Monday warned the U.S. could support another major strike on Iran. That is, if Tehran resumes rebuilding its ballistic missile or nuclear weapons.
And what did we say the first time when this happened? Because it happened before. And you niggas was out here protesting, don't stop the war with Iran, and y'all niggas was happy when they said they ceased fire, and man, but now look, 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So, I can also get Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. There's a time for everything. Oh, hell no. We know what time it is. We know what the Lord's doing. All right. Just go to the point. Ecclesiastes 3 and 8, a time to love. There's a time for everything, and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. We're at the war part of this thing. In order for us to get to peace or paradise, and I'm talking about you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, these wars must happen. Because World War III, the third war, was talked about in the book of Revelations, okay? Armageddon, Armageddon, the Valley of Decision, the Valley of Troops. It's talked about. So, all right.
Programs after a massive strike in June.
I hope they're not trying to build up again, because if they are, we're going to have no choice but very quickly to eradicate that buildup.
Iran said last week.
See that? Hey, that's the bully. Let me see. Yeah, Daniel 7:20, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. That's talking about this place. Okay? Trump said eradicate. We're going to have to eradicate them.
Week that it had conducted missile exercises for the second time this month.
Be behaving badly. It hasn't
Made a statement after last week that it had conducted missile exercises for the second time this month.
Iran may be behaving badly. It hasn't been confirmed, but if it's confirmed, look, they know the consequences. Consequences will be very powerful.
Trump made a statement after a meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu. The Israeli prime minister said last week that he was not seeking a confrontation with Iran, but was aware of the reported exercises and said he would raise Tehran's activities with Trump. The U.S. president also said he wanted to move to the second phase of the ceasefire deal between Israel and the Palestinian militants Hamas. Trump heaped blame on the group for not disarming more promptly, arguing that Israel had lived up to its side of the deal. He urged Hamas to disarm or face severe consequences.
Well, we talked about Hamas and we talked about disarmament, and they're going to be given a very short period of time to disarm, and we'll see how that works out. Steve, Witkoff and Jared Kushner will be in charge of that from our side. But if they don't disarm, as they agreed to do, they agreed to it, and then they'll be held to pay for them.
Israel and Hamas accuse each other of breaching the deal. Hamas, which has refused to disarm, has been reasserting its control as Israeli troops remain entrenched in about half the territory. Israel has indicated that if Hamas is not disarmed peacefully, it will resume military action to make it do so.
You always wondered why that.
Ah, man. Beautiful times we're living in. Beautiful times. But, hey, this is why we the watchmen. This thing is speeding up. The days are speeding up. 2026. We only got a couple more days till we enter into that. And, hey, man, call on la Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, that we're seeing, these things happen in our time. Because this is the time of the Lord, his second return. And we know that it's fastly approaching while these people don't. Shalom.